I am Mike.
And I'm Maggie, and welcome to the Debrief, the podcast where Mike and Maggie discuss the top stories in politics and sports and try to make sense of the headlines. Mike, do we have any follow-ups from the last episode?
Yeah, I got a couple of things, some technical details here. So I've been talking a lot about the desalination plants.
Right.
We could talk about that in the war. I think things are progressing to that point, but not quite yet. But Israel gets 75 to 85% of its water from desalination plants. I thought they were a little more fertile there, but I guess not. The GCC countries are over 90% of their drinking water is from desalination. So, yeah, they're pretty much screwed if anything happens to that.
Well, they're all
And
screwed pretty much, right?
yeah, I mean, Iran is in better shape. They only get 20 to 25% of their water from a little more fertile. They got more groundwater and
Mm-hmm.
rivers and whatnot. They got mountains and hills. I'm not quite sure if they're like the Rocky Mountains or what, but they're only at 20 to 25%. So
Relying on the
yeah,
sea
so
or the...
something like that. Yeah, yeah. The Caspian Sea on the north is where that would be the 20 to 25%. The 70 to 85% for Israel's got to be the Mediterranean Sea, right?
Mm-hmm.
Saudi Arabia and everybody else is the Persian Gulf and the Arabian Sea, probably. And so, anyway, that's just how important, being in America, we don't quite, unless you live in Arizona or New Mexico or West Texas.
Mm-hmm.
There's plenty of water. We don't even think about it half the time, unless it's a flood. Then we're really thinking about
Mm-hmm.
it. But second thing I mentioned, going to DEFCON levels. The lower the number, the higher the priority. So DEFCON 5 is basically just, hey, wake up, something's going on. DEFCON 1 is where it's over. So
Really?
so when you get to DEFCON 1, you better get in your trench and get in your
I would have thought the opposite. Okay, I stand
yeah.
corrected.
So if you hear they went into DEFCON from DEFCON 4 to DEFCON 5 to DEFCON 4, that's okay. But once they get up to 1, trouble in River City there. So, and then I also mentioned about our refining capability, that 25% of our refining capability, it can only handle sweet crude, and 75% can handle sour crude. Oh, by the way, it has to do with the amount of sulfur in the oil. Less sulfur is
Okay.
sweeter, more sulfur is sour, and I don't quite know if it makes it harder to refine or not. I think the sweet stuff is what they like because it's easier to refine. I think that, but anyway, it has to do with sulfur. Anyway, I sort of implied that we had a supply issue, that we had to get all our oil from the Gulf, which is a lot of sour stuff, but we get all our sour from Canada and a little bit from Venezuela. So I think from a supply standpoint, I think we'll be okay. I'm gonna throttle back my worrying about supply issues. It'll be the cost will go up because we're still subject to the global prices, but we should have very few supply problems. Like there'll be some, and so anyway, I'm hearing more that diesel is starting to take off now. I think we're right at the beginning of some of the price hikes, but I think supply will probably be okay. I'm gonna throttle back my worrying a couple notches on that. Just save your pennies for the increased prices, if you got any pennies left out there. So sweet and oil and sour oil. I'm pretty sure nobody actually tasted it to decide what it tasted like. But all right. Anyway, let's get down to the war. This might actually be a short section because there's so many things going on. I couldn't possibly go through. We're fired up. We are back to probably closer to how it was at the beginning of the war. We're definitely, the MOU, the Memorandum of Understanding, is definitely out the door. It's
Dead.
It's dead. I mean, just from a philosophical standpoint, Iran wants a long war and America wants a short war. And so
Yeah.
Iran will do everything to extend things out.
Draw it out. Yeah.
They're being very belligerent and cocky. Hey,
They're being strategic.
strategic.
They know they can last. They're in no rush.
They've been under sanctions for 47 years. I think they can do a few more.
They've been around for 1,000 years. I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're actually hoping that we do put boots on the ground, because then they'll just kill them, and there's nothing like dead soldiers to piss off, to make Americans depressed. So So anyway, the U.S. has a blockade, and I think they might have backed off it a little bit. They were going to say they were going to charge 20%. They're complaining about Iran charging a toll, and then Mad King Donnie says, "Oh yeah, we're going to charge 20%, and we're going to be the guardians of the Hormuz."
Of the Hormuz.
Yeah, you might want to get that website. Go to GoDaddy and get that domain, and maybe you'll make a few bucks off it.
Catchy.
It's catchy. It's not Guardians of the Galaxy. It's Guardians of the Hormuz. I'm not going to get into too many details because there's so many details. We're going after their civilian targets. We're going after the Iranian civilian targets, and then they're coming back at our. They haven't gone into Israel too much. I think they're on the verge of going into Israel, but they're cleaning up all kinds of the remainder of Air Force bases and refineries and pipelines in all the GCC states, and it's really getting fired up here. I think.
And just a reminder for people, honey, when you say GCC, you mean the Gulf Coast.
Yes, Gulf Coast Committee. I did
Council.
This Council, Gulf Coast Council. Yeah, I did. I had to do a follow up on this a few episodes
Wasn't
ago.
it the collaborative?
Yeah, I think
it was ironic. I remember.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna.
Anyway,
anyway, it's
the group of states and
the group of states
country,
on the Arabian Peninsula. Saudi Arabia, Oman, and they're even bombing Oman, and they're trying to do business with Oman because Oman is on the other side of the.
Everybody's
strait,
getting bombed,
and they're not the Iranians.
Not in a good way either.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So they're taking out Omani stuff, and not because they're necessarily mad at Oman, but they know that the Americans can interrupt. So if Oman has a tower, America's trying to encourage people to go through the Omani side of the strait.
Right.
And
right.
Yeah, and then so if Oman can see what they're doing from their towers and stuff, America can hack that information. So, and it's not necessarily that the Omanis are giving it away, although they might be. But so Iran said, sorry, we got to bomb this thing because the Americans might know what's going through there. So, and they're supposed to be in business with Oman over the PG, with Persian Gulf Strait Authority that they made. So, and they are starting to look at also Jordan. Jordan's been kind of quiet. We haven't heard much, but I think they got one of the few remaining airfields that the Americans can fly out of. So Iran might be going after Jordan as well. And I think they're trying to be pretty surgical about just American stuff. I know we're bombing your country, but we're just bombing the Americans. So don't get all bent out of shape. I know we bombed Dubai like crazy, but we're just going after the Americans, so don't get pissed off, So we'll see what the next level is. So I won't get in. It's really jacked up the pressure, the cadence, I guess is the expression. And so I won't bore you with details, but we'll see how the next level goes, the next turn goes. Oil on the futures market was up. It's like 12% in 2 days and stuff. And I think it's over $80 a barrel now, and it's probably going north. That's I'm hearing that diesel is starting to be an issue. Maybe I know I said there might not be a supply, but there might be a supply issue for diesel, not necessarily gasoline, which you can drive around, but you won't be able to get any food because all the trucks that bring food to your grocery store drive on diesel. So and you won't be able to buy anything on Amazon because all those trucks use diesel. So but you'll be able to drive to work and back, so that'll be all right. So anyway, they've also are saying that they may close the Bab el Mandab Strait, which is the strait on the other side of the Arabian Peninsula.
Okay.
So if you look at the map of the Saudi Arabian and the Arabian Peninsula, the Strait of Hormuz is on the right, so that would be the east side. But on the west side, down at the bottom of the Red Sea, there's another strait that is probably even tighter than the Strait of Hormuz. Now, a lot of oil doesn't go through there, but there's 10% of all commercial goods go through there. And so I don't know exactly what the goods are, stuff you buy, shirts and toys and whatever, shoes and whatever. I don't know, not oil or fertilizer or natural gas, but just regular goods. I don't quite know what goes through there, but the Houthis are pretty much controlling Yemen, and they're in league with the Iranians. I don't think it's quite closed, but I think they're on the verge of closing it. So anyway, that's about it.
Not that you're a military expert, honey, but is there a way? I know it would take a very long time for all those carriers of goods and services and oil, for them to actually go a different way. It would add months to how long it takes for them to get goods to market. But is there a way that eventually we're going to say we've had enough of you, Iran, and we're just going to take our marbles and go home and go and find a different way to get around the world?
Yeah, that's absolutely a possibility. You can if you have
Right.
pipelines, like for example, Saudi Arabia does have a pipeline that goes west across their country to the Red Sea, but it doesn't have as many barrels, it doesn't have the capacity that some of this other stuff does. So you could talk all day about how dumb this war is and how Iran's kicking ass, but these people
Mhm.
still got to do business. People in Europe still want heat. People in India still want to cook, and they need natural gas. So they'll make
Mhm.
they'll make arrangements somehow.
Mhm. Mhm.
So
Okay.
it's just gonna take a while. It's not gonna be as easy or as fast
Right.
as you would think. The things are fired up, and get on YouTube or TikTok, and you'll see stuff burning all over the place here, airfields and refineries and pipelines and yada yada. So we'll see
All
what the
right.
next step is for that.
Okay.
So Russia and Ukraine, yeah, they're still going at it. They're getting a deep penetration into petrochemical plants, electrical substations. They're both going after each other's. You're sensing a theme here when they go after the
Right.
civilian infrastructure. The Ukrainians are starting to run a little low on ammunitions, but the Europeans have formed a group. I think it's called the Integrated Anti-Ballistic Missile Coalition, and they're going to try to ramp up their production of missiles. This is not drones. This is missiles.
Mhm.
That they can send to Ukraine, since Ukraine's doing all the fighting, and Europe is kind of being the primary supplier now that America's sort of backed out of it.
Got it.
Yeah, Lindsey Graham might have gotten more money for him if he hadn't had a heart attack. But so yeah, that's cranking up another notch too. All right, just keep your gas tank filled.
That'll be our
And
new send off, honey, at the end of every
yeah,
show. And keep your gas tank filled.
thank you for watching this episode, and make sure you keep your gas tank filled up.
That's right.
I think they're trying to get another sanction on the Russians. Although I might have to do a deep dive on this. I don't think these countries care anymore about sanctions. Like they took Iran off the sanctions for about 2 weeks, and nobody wanted to buy their oil because they had to do it in dollars with the petrodollar, and no everybody said, well, America's just going to freeze your assets. Why would I
Yeah.
give you dollars? I'd rather give you crypto
Mm.
or yuan or euros or something. They don't want to use the American system with the petrodollar. So
Okay.
being on sanction isn't it really that big a deal anymore? The world is already starting to move on away from it's called the SWIFT system. It's a way to
Mhm.
transfer money with dollars. They don't want to pay with dollars anymore because they don't want an idiot like Donald Trump in charge of everything. So
Right.
being on sanctions is I don't think is that big of a deal anymore. So
Well,
Russia will just buy sell their stuff in rubles or whatever. So.
okay. Yeah, because you can't control it unless it was the petrodollar that they were
Right, exactly.
using.
That's how
Okay, got it.
America can control it. You have to buy oil with petro or sell oil with petrodollars. That goes into a bank that's controlled by America. The money gets transferred through this SWIFT system,
Right.
which America has. And so people are going, well, f this. You get 30 million of my money. Screw this. You give me rubles, and we'll figure out our exchange rate and just do business together.
Right.
Yeah, so anyway, I don't think those sanctions are gonna be working that much
Effective.
more, so
Okay.
effective anymore.
Yeah.
Alrighty, a lot of domestic action here.
Yeah, it's been a busy week.
Yep. So Lindsey Graham has died. I think.
I know. So shocking. Whether you
Yeah,
liked him or not, he's been around forever.
yeah. He's not
A
getting the
leader.
love. He's not getting the love on social media and other places.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, I've just got a lot of blood on his hands, and he's been was a
Yeah.
neocon war hawk for a long time, and a lot of people are dead because of policies that he helped put through. It's not you don't want to blame one guy. It's a team effort here, but he was as you should see some of the videos. He's just giddy with bombing bombing people, and
Really?
I'm sure he loved his sister. His sister is now being appointed to take over his spot, which ought to tell you how valuable a Senate seat is if you can just plop in your little sister and everything will be fine. Why do we go
I
through all
think
these
it's more of
elections?
an honor, They'll tell her what buttons to push when it comes to vote, but
Yeah, she's just as controlled as he was, probably. So
yeah.
she'll do whatever lobbyist tells her to do, I guess.
Right, exactly. It's more of an honor thing, and she has
Yeah.
no intention of
Mhm.
actually
Yeah.
moving to be
Yeah,
senator.
he
So
was he was mildly reasonable, but he was still a neocon and was in favor of every war that came down the pike.
he was
I
a bit
gotta I,
aggressive.
I gotta use the C word here on
God,
this
which one?
conspiracy. I don't. This is not confirmed. I'm just telling you what the chickens are saying around the water cooler. I've heard multiple people say that the timeline of where he was on Friday at a plant, a drone factory in Kiev. I think Friday midday Ukraine time, I believe. And you don't just fly. You don't just fly out of Kiev and come to Washington. You got to get to Warsaw and then you've got to get back. And people are kind of doing the math and going, well, if he was in Kiev on Friday morning, but
What are they
people
suggesting?
that I guess number one, that he died in Ukraine. So he may have still had the heart attack, but he may have that. Oh, by the way, the drone factory where he got this picture taken on Friday
Yeah.
got blown up by Russia that day, that very day. So exactly what time? Maybe he got out before they bombed it. Maybe he was there when they bombed it. He had the heart attack in Ukraine, and they didn't want to tell anybody. But I've also heard that. Let's see, Tommy Tuberville, the senator, said that one of his people, Lindsey Graham's scheduler, she's the one who called 911. The 911 call came from about 20 miles away. No conspiracy timeline is he did get home in time, and then he had chest pains and he called his scheduler, and his scheduler called 911, and then they went in and got him.
Hmm.
Well, first of all, he's a 71-year-old man, and he had arteriosclerosis, so that's just normal.
Mm.
But if I was getting into a conspiracy, I would have said that the Russians would have poisoned him because he was a big advocate for Ukraine, and if he dies, then it's less likely that Trump's going to try to get more money for Ukraine.
He was looking to add sanctions
and
to
and add and
Russia.
and add sanctions. Right. So,
Mm.
but the real conspiracy. I mean, if he had the heart attack in Ukraine, I think they would have said it. He had a heart attack on the plane coming home or on the train coming
Right,
home or whatever. I
right.
don't think that's anything bad. What would be bad is if he got killed in the bombing raid on the drone factory.
And then we would have to do something to Russia.
Then we'd have to do something. You just killed one of our sitting United States senators,
We gotta bomb something.
a close confidant of the president, and we got to do something. And it's Russia, and we're already getting our ass kicked by Iran. So that would be the conspiracy. If it was a conspiracy, that would be it. That he actually got killed by a bomb at the factory. But I think his body's already been cremated. I got to double check
Wow.
that. And they've already done the autopsy, which normally autopsy takes like 2 weeks to get the results out. But they came out like immediately with it, like less than a day, I think. So that would be bad if Russia bombed something and killed one of our sitting senators. Even though I think he's a dick, but he's still a sitting senator for the United States. We would have to do something, and I think
Yeah.
that if they wanted to cover up something, that's what they would do.
Okay.
But maybe the time works. Maybe the timeline works out for you. Those of you out there can do some math. If you're in Kiev, Ukraine, a Friday early afternoon,
Hmm.
can you get back? Can you get back to Washington by 8:30 Saturday night?
Mhm. If I wasn't a U.S. senator, I might know some people who would give me a ride or get me out faster. So
Yeah.
that's the
So
only thing.
let's see what's next. We got ICE is on a killing spree again. They've killed in the last 3-4 days. They've killed a beloved father in Texas who was just going to work. And they also killed
Terrible.
another father in Maine, literally in front of the guy's 3-year-old daughter. They shot him in the
Good
face.
God.
Shot him in the face in front of his daughter.
Good God.
God bless America, huh? So
Why aren't they outlawed? It's ridiculous.
I think they said they're going to be pausing stop and searches now.
Well, Yeah,
It's only 4 people you for sure you murdered.
I
Now
know.
who knows how many else you've
Right,
fucked up their lives or screwed up
right.
their lives. Sorry.
I heard that the Minnesota state attorney finally got information about the Alex Preddy and Renee Good killings from DHS and FBI.
It's
They
probably
just got it.
yeah, it's probably redacted and
Well,
all
at
that
least
stuff.
they're saying they got it. So now
Alright.
they can conduct their own investigation and hopefully prosecute the
Yeah.
asshole who killed them. Assholes.
I don't think any of that'll happen until there's a different administration, until there's a Democratic
Well, these
administration.
things
So
take time anyway.
might take a while. So let me see. Donald Trump has a speech on Thursday. I don't know. He's going to rally around the flag kind of thing. I'm hearing that he's going to claim that both senators from Georgia are illegitimate because he was poking around in Georgia for their election results. I think I'm hearing he's gonna say that both senators are both illegitimately elected because of election issues down there. He's gonna start attacking directly those 2 senators in Georgia.
Did he not go out to the people of Georgia and tell them not to vote? That it was a waste of their time.
Yeah,
He
probably.
told MAGA not to vote in Georgia before the election,
Mhm,
and people stayed home.
mhm.
Anyway,
Well, there you go. Yeah,
he's just trying to set up a general
yeah,
perception that
right.
where there's smoke, there's fire. There could be something there. There could be some problems with voting,
Well, I
and
mean,
it's all made up on his part.
right, and so yeah. So this is the one thing that anything that makes him look like a loser he will just not let go. And
Right, and he knows that he's gonna lose big. He knows there's gonna be a blue wave because everybody hates him so much. And so he's getting out ahead of it to say, if I lose, it's gonna be because somebody,
yeah.
you know,
Right. I mean, all the other Republicans who won
defrauded.
are yeah, all the other Republicans they're okay, but because I lost, it's fraudulent.
Right.
So maybe the speech will have a different tone and it'll be rally around the flag for the war. But I'm hearing more noise about these 2 Georgia senators. So let me see.
He also is a little afraid of Ossoff. He's really very compelling.
Mhm.
He's been doing a great job, and he has reason to fear that Ossoff would actually win the Senate seat and keep it. And if that happens, he's probably going to lose the Senate, is the thing. And
Yeah.
he doesn't want that because if he loses the Senate, he'll be a stool pigeon, a sitting duck, lame duck,
Lame duck. Come on.
lame duck, all those other birds.
And well, he's a stool pigeon. Is bird brain
Yeah.
maybe? How about bird
Bird
brain?
brain, stool pigeon, lame
Yeah.
duck.
Yeah, chicken hawk, maybe. I don't know. How far do you want to take this bird analogies here? Stool pigeon. I don't know. But anyway, so where were we? You distracted me. The reflecting pool, honey. Have you heard about
Yeah,
the
that
reflecting?
beautiful reflecting pool.
They drained it, and they're gonna get to the bottom of who did all the damage to it, right? Well, guess what?
Yeah,
They found some damage,
they did.
and the damage looked exactly like tire tracks.
Tire track.
As you recall, he asked the Secret Service to drive right through the reflecting pool in the Beast, which is the big SUV that he drives
An
around
idiot.
in, and you could see it. It's exactly
Big tire tracks.
tire tracks. Yes, there is a 300-foot damage. It's your friggin' tire tracks, you twit. So anyway,
We have an idiot for a president. Oh my God.
and Secret Service kind of has to do whatever he says. So anyway, they did get to the bottom of the damage. So I feel bad for the poor slob who got arrested. I mean, I think the guy was kind
He
of
was
a
an
knucklehead.
Olympic
Olympic swimmer. So I forget his name,
competitor.
but
Right.
yeah, and
Good
I
God.
mean, he's probably a knucklehead, but he didn't deserve to get arrested.
Well, he didn't do anything. He stuck his hand
Maybe,
in there and kind of
yeah.
picked up what was, by his
Yep.
hand.
Yep. All right. We've got the FBI is now investigating the Argentine Football Association for corruption. And so you might be thinking, why is the FBI investigating Argentinian Football Association?
Right.
Since we're in the World Cup here,
Right.
bring it up. Well,
And we're
apparently,
very far from Argentina,
yes. Apparently, there's
a different country.
Yes, it's a completely different country. Yes, and we are the Federal Bureau of Investigation for the United States,
Right.
not Argentina.
Right.
Apparently, there's a Florida shell company that got a lot of money, and and they're thinking they got, and there's no business activity or anything, and they're thinking they used it to launder money for the It's AFA, Argentine Football Association. For the AFA leaders used this Florida shell corporation to launder money for the leaders of the AFA, and so that's why FBI is getting involved because it involved the Florida company that they made it. So, oh, and
So
by
it
the way,
really has more to do with money laundering and,
right,
you
right.
know, okay.
Yeah, there's a conspiracy theory out there that the Argentina is getting a lot of favoritism from the referees, and that the FIFA, the World Football Federation, wants Argentina. They want Lionel Messi to be on TV a lot, and they want them to make the finals at least, if not win it again. But this is a different conspiracy theory.
Okay.
Now, don't forget that Lionel Messi plays for Inter Miami, which is MLS team in Miami, Florida, which is where this Shell Corporation is, also in Florida. So
Okay.
I don't know what'll come a year and a half from now. It'll all come out in the wash, I guess. So speaking of stuff coming out in the wash, we have got an epidemic
Not again.
we have an epidemic, honey, and it's not erectile dysfunction. It's explosive diarrhea.
No.
There is a cyclosporiasis, which is an outbreak
Okay.
of some sort of bacteria on fruit and
You know,
vegetables.
cyclosporidia is a related term. That must be so
Mm.
it's a cyclosporiasis.
Cyclosporiasis,
Oh my God.
some sort of bacteria that's on
Cyclosporiasis.
fruits and vegetables, I guess,
On
that
fruits
aren't
and vegetables.
right.
That's great.
When I first heard about it, it was started in Michigan, and it was only in 4 states, but now I'm hearing 31 states. Oh, and by the way, the
Yeah.
RFK told CDC to stop investigating this about, I don't know, maybe a few months ago, and lo and behold, here we got this massive outbreak. So,
Thank you.
it,
Thank you, Robert. Does
well,
he have this exploding diarrhea? Can we
I,
give it to him
I yeah, yeah,
so he can
I
share the misery with all those people?
share them is now. It's probably not his fault, but it
It
would
is his fault. It is.
probably
He's
would
in
be
charge of keeping us healthy.
probably would
And
be
part of that,
contained. Yes.
yeah, sorry.
Well, it might be
Part of
contained a little bit if they had the CDC on the job, I guess. And he backed them off the job. They probably could have got ahead of it a little bit.
exactly. Sorry, but it's actually they play a super huge role.
Mhm.
Every time there's a little bit of E. coli in lettuce or something like that, they catch it right away. They report it right away.
Mhm.
It doesn't get a chance to spread. Now you say it's in 31 states?
31 states. Yeah, in Illinois,
States.
yeah,
That's
states,
almost
yeah.
that's half the country and more.
That's
So
60%
it's
of the country, yes.
literally because of actions and policies.
All right, so for those of you listening out there, you have a 60% chance of getting this if you buy fruits or vegetables. So I have no
Great.
idea. I have no idea which states. We're in Illinois, and I think Illinois got it. So I'm just going with potato chips for a while to kind of get
And I
through
guess
this.
really wash your fruit too or anything you have.
They're saying that it might not work. Yeah, we definitely wash your fruit and vegetables for sure. They're saying it still might get through if you do that. That's what I'm hearing. But
Good.
definitely wash your fruits and vegetables.
All right.
All right, and we got a couple other couple of small things here to finish up. So Maggie and I like to try to look for signs of things that might indicate something coming out later. And Maggie goes to Costco a lot, and she noticed that they now are selling gas cans off of pallets at Costco. So maybe Costco knows something that we don't.
I mean, seriously, maybe they've sold them before. I've never seen gas cans sold at Costco.
There's a huge pallet of gas cans, so maybe people are calling, going, "Hey, you got gas
Hey, you
cans?"
got any
And
gas cans?
they've got to load up on a little gas. I do know for sure that there's a run on motor oil. That's for sure
Was
for
there?
guys who just change oil out of their garage for a side gig. AutoZone has a big run on motor oil, so
Wow.
the word's kind of getting out. So we'll see what happens, but. And Costco's are pretty tuned in to what the regular people want, I think.
Exactly.
And then I found someone passed away that is I'm kind of into aviation a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I used to have a private pilot's license. And Wally Funk has died. She was 87, I believe. She's one of the pioneering female pilots from the early 60s. Her real name is
Wow.
Mary Wallace Funk. She is, so when they were putting the astronauts together, you know, the right stuff, the Mercury 7 and then those guys, they had a whole group of women. They wanted to see how women reacted to some of the tests that they were doing, how they handled the G-forces and all that kind of stuff. And she was one of the original Mercury 13 is what they call it. They were all female pilots and astronauts as well. This would have been also in the early 60s. And she ended up being the only one of them who actually made it into space. She was later on with Branson or Bezos, one of those guys. She ended up getting into space, and when she was 82, I think. And so she was the oldest. She's definitely the oldest woman who's ever been in space, and she was the oldest person until William Shatner went up and beat her. He was older than 82 when he went up. Anyway, pioneering woman aviator Wally Funk has died. So that's a shame. So anyway, that's it. That's all I got, hon.
All right. I just want to note that Sam Neill passed away as well. I liked him a lot.
Yes.
Jurassic Park. He was 78.
Yeah, I really liked him in The Hunt for Red October more than Jurassic Park.
The Hunt for Red October, he was really good, yeah.
Yep.
He died in Sydney, Australia, in a hospital there. But that was too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there you go. Well, that's all we have for today. Again, always please follow, subscribe, or share. We're on Spotify, Apple, and also YouTube.
When are we going to be on TikTok, honey?
I think we have to do
Or
video to get on
Twitter,
TikTok.
or Twitter.
Twitter. Wow. Okay, let me check it out.
Wait, thank you for listening to episode 26.
Yeah, goodbye.